You all know that we love a good open marriage regret post, and that's what we have in this true off my chest post. She says, my husband convinced me to swing. She's 25, he's 30. All right, she says, me and my husband have been together for 5 years. So since she was 20, I've been together for 5 years, and he has two friends from college who are a couple, Mike and Tina. They've been close since we met, and I immediately liked them both, and they really took to me as well. I really feel like they're my friends too. A while back, they told me that they were in an open relationship and enjoyed swinging. This was after we all had a few drinks, and I talked about how my husband was my first relationship and my first actual partner. They knew that already, but this time the talk got a bit more into specifics. They weren't pressuring me into anything, and I didn't feel like they were trying to get me into anything. You all know the meme. And actually, I do not know which meme we're talking about here. She says, I didn't think this thing was for me. And honestly, I still don't. They've been together many years. And if that works for them, all power to them. Well, ever since they told me, my husband got kind of weird. Mike and Tina really didn't bring the subject up anymore, but my husband kind of just wouldn't let it go. At first, he kept asking me if I thought Mike was good looking or if I thought he was nice. And he kept enthusing about Tina, how Tina was so hot and Tina was such a good wife and such a good friend and so kind. I know he had a thing for Tina way back, but thought that was over since she was with Mike. Then he started talking about how hot it made him thinking about me with another man. Ew, okay, no, or another woman. The talk would always get him really excited, and we'd have X. I thought it was kind of off, but he seemed happy and excited, so I let it be. Then his birthday rolled around, and I asked him what he wanted. And he tells me he wants to reach out to Mike and Tina to see if they were into swinging. At first, I wasn't really into it, but he kept asking and begging. He told me he was bored with our ex life and it needed spicing up. This really hurt my feelings because there's a lot of stuff I wasn't really into, but I let him do because I thought it made him happy. Whenever I asked him to do something, he'd shoot it down or say it made him uncomfortable. Anyway, he kept insisting, and I eventually agreed. This got him really excited, and he told me not to worry about it and that he talked with Mike and Tina and he'd take care of everything. And I was the best wife in the world, which made me really happy because it's been a while since he was excited. He was this excited about me. Dun, dun, dun. So the day comes and we meet up at their house, and Mike and Tina are being really sweet. And they keep checking comfort levels, and this is the problem. See, the way we did it was first Tina and me did some stuff and the men watched, and it was nice. It felt very sexy. I'm sorry, I felt very sexy and very cared for, and Tina seemed really happy too. Then Mike took me to the bedroom while my husband and Tina stayed in the living room, and it was lovely. Mike was so attentive and so excited, and again, I felt really beautiful and really desirable. We stayed in there for apparently a really long time, and I think I looked maybe too happy when we returned to the living room. And when we returned, it was kind of weird because Tina and my husband were just kind of sitting there on their phones, and my husband looked kind of upset. And he said something like, "Oh, finally," and said it was time to go home, and I barely got a chance to say goodbye. Ever since, my husband's been a bit weird. He doesn't talk about it anymore. When I try to tell him about my time with Mike or ask about Tina, he just shuts down. We haven't really talked to them since, but also the X drive is gone. The few times we did have X, I realized he doesn't really do it for me anymore. And it seems like he doesn't even want to try anymore. I met Tina a few days ago and we talked. I told her everything because I felt really alone in this and really wanted to talk to someone. I asked her about what happened with my husband, and she told me he just finished really quickly and wasn't really into satisfying her before or afterwards. She wasn't really bothered and told me men were like that sometimes with her, but she didn't, I'm sorry, but she said he got distant and defensive, and she didn't really want to talk to him anymore. But she thought I was lovely, and Mike thought so too, which made me feel really good about myself. Then she said she got it though, since I was really into it and he just kind of came along. This got a literal excuse me, WTF out of me. Then we talk some more, and turns out my husband has been setting this up for weeks, way before I agreed. And he kept telling them he was doing this for me, and I was really into it and kept insisting. And I brought it up and was really into it, which was a total lie. Then we talk more, and the more we talk, the more I realize just how unsatisfied I am in my relationship, both emotionally and actually. I don't think polyamory, swinging, open relationships, etc. is for me, but I think being married to my husband isn't really for me either. I don't want to sound spoiled or entitled, but at the very least, I think I deserve to be with a man who won't lie to me and who will make me feel loved and satisfied, or at least, I don't know, make the effort. I haven't talked to him about this yet, but I just think I really needed to put into words before going ahead with this. So, thank you for reading this and wish me luck. I acknowledge and have acknowledged in the past that I recognize that Reddit posts can be works of fiction. It's just that all of us tend to really enjoy the open marriage regret posts. So we do them, entertainment or not, they always makes us smile. Always a great way to get the day started. I do think that this is kind of real life, though, for people that are inexperienced. You kind of go along with it, and this is one of the reasons why dudes be going after young ladies, the younger side, because they have no experience. They have no baseline for what's good, what's great, what's pleasurable, what's not, and all of that. So you get a little taste of something that's good, and it's like, oh, this is what I've been missing out on. And so I think that that's what has happened. She's been with someone that is selfish in getting their pleasure, but not pleasuring someone else. And now she's felt that little something and has planted a seed, and that seed is going to blossom into something else. And this is doomed. This relationship, the main relationship, is doomed. All right, some of the comments. Mammoth Historical says, that's really funny. The guy wants to be a player but has no game. MB Pearl says he was bored with X because he's a terrible lay and blames it on his partner. Meryl Swingaway says, that sounds about right, to be honest. He had fantasized about swinging, but let himself and Tina down when the real deal happened. When I was still married to my now ex, we were watching a TV program about polyamory, people who live together. I think it was on the channel like TLC or something. My ex thought it was a great idea and wanted us to get involved with other people. He should have said it was he who wanted to get involved with other people, as he's done this once or twice before we met. I wasn't into it and never got into it, and he knew this. It wasn't as if I found him hot or anything, because he wasn't or isn't. It was that I didn't want to be involved like that. Sometime later, I got suspicious of my ex's online activity. I would go to bed earlier than he did, so I figured he was up to something. I downloaded a program that ran behind everything on the computer. I don't remember the name of it, but it recorded every keystroke, every website, everything. Of course, my ex wasn't aware of the program. He was working nights for a while. It just so happened that the night I discovered he had been emailing and making plans with another woman, he called me. The background was quiet, which was unusual because where we worked was noisy. I asked him what was going on, and he said he was on his way home. I asked him if he was sick, and he said no. Okay, I'll see you when you get here. All the while, I was printing out conversations and plans between him and the other lady. I even had her phone number, so I called her, told her who I was, and asked her if she knew who my then husband was. I'm sorry, if she knew my then husband was married. She said no. I wasn't angry or anything and wasn't nasty to her. It wasn't her fault. When my ex got home, he sat down at the dining room table and I handed him the printouts. He didn't look at them, so I had to tell him what was there. He denied it. 3 effing hours of me raising his butt, and he never came clean. What angered me the most was the lying. This infuriated me to my core, and I told him to pack his and leave. I went to bed. He didn't leave straight away, but he did leave eventually and didn't tell me. He was so stupid that he only packed up what he could put in and on one of his motorcycles and took off. Later on, he sent me a text message saying I could do whatever I wanted with his stuff. So baby, let me tell you, I sold what I could and threw away the rest. So this dude was lying. He just really wanted to cheat and left all of his things at her home. That really makes literally no sense. It makes no sense the way these people will throw it all away for an actual encounter. They literally let their peen run their lives. But this person at the bottom says, I don't understand how anyone could get bored with X. It's like the ultimate bop it. So many things to touch, pull, poke, lick, flick, suck, smack, etc. And it's not boring if you're finding someone that you are interested in exploring with. Like literally, you can make things as interesting as you want to, as long as you're interested in that person. So join the conversation. You all needed to see the comment because it was a story within itself, and hopefully, this was entertaining enough to start your day. Let me know what you think. Jump in the comments. Don't forget to like, comment, and share. And if you follow me this long and you haven't yet subscribed, go ahead and smash that